The animal kingdom, a source of wonder, a source of beauty, and for centuries, a source of materials for mankind. Leather, fur, exotic skins. These animal products have clothed us, adorned us, and fueled a global industry. From the everyday to the highly luxurious, animal skins are woven into the fabric of our lives. In this series, we explore the global animal skin industry. We'll delve into its practices, its impacts, and the shifting sands of ethics and sustainability that are shaping its future. Leather, derived from hides and skins of animals, dominates this global trade. Its uses span numerous sectors, from fashion and furniture to automotive and beyond. Fur, prized for its warmth and luxury, occupies a more controversial space. Ethical concerns regarding animal welfare have ignited debates and driven change within the industry. Exotic skins, sourced from crocodiles, snakes, and other species, cater to the high-end market. Their use raises questions about conservation and responsible sourcing. Join us as we unravel the complexities of this multifaceted industry. Leather, a material steeped in history, is as ubiquitous today as it was centuries ago. Derived from the hides and skins of animals, primarily cattle, sheep, and goats, leather's durability and versatility have secured its place in countless industries. From fashion and footwear to furniture and automotive upholstery, leather's applications are vast and varied. The global leather industry is a multi-billion-dollar market, with production and consumption spread across the world. The transformation of raw animal hides into the leather we know involves a complex process known as tanning. Tanning converts the putrescible hide into a stable and durable material, resistant to decay. Traditional tanning methods often employ chromium, a heavy metal, raising concerns about environmental pollution and worker safety. The discharge of untreated wastewater from tanneries can contaminate water sources, soil, and air, posing risks to both human health and ecosystems. The environmental footprint of the leather industry extends beyond tanning. Livestock rearing for leather production contributes to deforestation, greenhouse gas emissions, and water pollution. The transportation of hides and leather goods across continents further adds to the industry's carbon footprint. Moreover, the use of chemicals in leather finishing and dyeing processes can release harmful substances into the environment. Growing awareness of the environmental impact of traditional leather production has spurred a search for sustainable alternatives. Vegetable tanning, an ancient method using natural tannins from plants, is experiencing a resurgence in popularity. Brands are increasingly adopting eco-friendly practices, such as reducing water and energy consumption and implementing closed-loop systems to minimize waste. Beyond making the leather industry more sustainable, there's a growing movement to create leather alternatives entirely. Plant-based leathers, derived from materials like pineapple leaves, mushrooms, and cactus, are gaining traction as viable substitutes for animal leather. These innovative materials offer the look and feel of traditional leather without the ethical and environmental baggage. The future of the leather industry hangs in the balance between tradition and innovation. As consumers become more conscious of their choices, the demand for ethically sourced, environmentally friendly leather and leather alternatives will likely grow. The industry must adapt to these changing demands by embracing transparency, sustainability, and innovation. The future of leather, it seems, lies in finding a harmonious balance between luxury, ethics, and environmental responsibility. Fur, a material synonymous with luxury, warmth, and status, has a long and complex history entwined with human civilization. For centuries, fur-bearing animals, from foxes and minks to rabbits and chinchillas, have been hunted and trapped for their prized pelts. The fur trade, once a cornerstone of global commerce, has left an indelible mark on societies and ecosystems alike. However, in the modern era, the fur industry finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with ethical concerns and evolving consumer attitudes. While trapping wild animals for their fur remains a practice in some regions, fur farming has become the dominant method of fur production worldwide. Large-scale facilities house animals like minks, foxes, and rabbits in confined cages, raising concerns about animal welfare. The practice of raising animals solely for their fur, often under intensive conditions, has drawn criticism from animal welfare organizations and fueled public debate. The fur industry maintains that it adheres to strict regulations and standards to ensure animal welfare. But critics argue that the inherent nature of confinement contradicts the animal's natural behaviors and needs. The use of fur in fashion has become a highly charged ethical issue, with strong opinions on both sides of the debate. Animal rights activists argue that it is inherently cruel to raise and kill animals for their fur, especially when synthetic alternatives exist. They point to the suffering inflicted upon animals confined in cages, deprived of their natural environments and social structures. The fur industry, in turn, emphasizes the economic benefits of fur production, particularly in rural communities, and highlights the renewable and biodegradable nature of real fur compared to synthetic alternatives. The ethical debate surrounding fur has significantly impacted the fashion industry, with many high-profile designers and brands choosing to go fur-free. Luxury fashion houses, once synonymous with fur-trimmed coats and accessories, are increasingly embracing faux fur alternatives and innovative textile technologies. This shift away from fur reflects a growing awareness of animal welfare concerns among consumers, particularly younger generations, who are more attuned to ethical consumption practices. The rise of vegan fashion and the availability of high-quality faux fur options that mimic the look and feel of real fur have further contributed to this trend. The future of the fur industry remains uncertain, caught between tradition, ethics, and evolving consumer preferences. While demand for fur persists in certain markets and for specific applications, the industry faces mounting pressure to address animal welfare concerns and adopt more sustainable practices. The development of lab-grown fur, created from cell cultures, offers a potential solution that could satisfy the demand for fur without involving animal farming. Ultimately, the future of fur will likely depend on the industry's ability to adapt to changing societal values, embrace ethical alternatives, and find a sustainable path forward that aligns with the evolving expectations of consumers. In the realm of luxury fashion, exotic skins occupy a rarefied echelon. Sourced from a diverse array of species, including crocodiles, snakes, lizards, and ostriches, exotic skins are prized for their unique textures, patterns, and inherent exclusivity. These luxurious materials have graced countless high-end fashion items, from handbags and wallets to belts, shoes, and watch straps, becoming synonymous with opulence and refinement. The allure of exotic skins lies not only in their visual appeal, but also in their rarity and the craftsmanship involved in transforming them into coveted fashion pieces. The sourcing of exotic skins is a complex and often controversial issue, fraught with ethical and sustainability concerns. The demand for these luxurious materials has, in some cases, fueled poaching and illegal wildlife trade, posing threats to vulnerable and endangered species. To address these challenges, The trade of exotic skins is strictly regulated by international agreements, such as the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, or CITES. CITES aims to ensure that the trade in wild animals and plants, including those used for exotic skins, is sustainable and does not threaten their survival in the wild. CITES plays a crucial role in regulating the global trade of exotic skins, establishing a system of permits and quotas to monitor and control the flow of these materials. Countries that are party to CITES agree to implement and enforce its provisions, working together to prevent illegal trade and promote sustainable practices. The regulations surrounding exotic skins vary depending on the species and the country of origin, with stricter controls in place for species that are more vulnerable or threatened by overexploitation. Despite these regulatory efforts, challenges remain in ensuring full compliance and combating illegal trade, highlighting the need for continued vigilance and enforcement. As awareness of animal welfare and conservation issues grows, the use of exotic skins in fashion is facing increasing scrutiny and shifting consumer attitudes. Ethical concerns surrounding the treatment of animals raised for their skins and the potential impact on wild populations have prompted some consumers to seek alternative materials. The fashion industry is responding to these evolving demands by exploring innovative materials and embracing more sustainable practices. The future of exotic skins in fashion remains to be seen, but it is clear that the industry must adapt to a changing world where ethics, transparency, and sustainability are paramount. The global animal skin industry stands at a pivotal crossroads, facing a wave of ethical scrutiny that is reshaping perceptions and practices. As societies evolve, so too do our relationships with animals and our understanding of their sentience and capacity for suffering. What was once accepted as the norm, the use of animal skins for fashion and other industries, is increasingly being questioned on moral grounds. This growing moral compass is fueled by a confluence of factors, including increased awareness of animal welfare issues, the availability of alternative materials, and a growing desire for ethical and sustainable consumption. Advances in animal cognition research and the work of animal welfare organizations have shed light on the complex emotional lives of animals, challenging long-held assumptions about their capacity to feel pain and distress. The intensive confinement of animals in factory farms and fur farms, often in cramped and unsanitary conditions, has drawn particular criticism. Critics argue that these practices prioritize profit over animal welfare, subjecting animals to physical and psychological suffering. The ethical debate extends beyond the conditions in which animals are raised to encompass the methods used to slaughter them, with calls for humane treatment throughout the entire supply chain. Section 3. The rise of ethical consumerism. Ethical consumerism, driven by a desire to align purchasing decisions with personal values, is gaining momentum globally, impacting industries across the board, including the animal skin sector. Consumers, particularly younger generations, are increasingly concerned about the origins of the products they buy, wanting to know that their choices are not contributing to animal cruelty or environmental degradation. This shift in consumer consciousness has empowered individuals to use their purchasing power to drive change, supporting brands that prioritize animal welfare and sustainability while boycotting those that fail to meet ethical standards. Section 4. From boycotts to bans. The growing ethical concerns surrounding the use of animal skins have led to widespread boycotts of certain brands and products, with activists and consumers alike voicing their disapproval through protests and social media campaigns. These actions have also spurred calls for legislative measures to restrict or ban the trade of animal skins altogether, pushing governments to take a stand on this pressing issue. In response, several countries and cities have implemented comprehensive bans on fur farming, leading to the closure of numerous facilities. These bans are primarily motivated by the undeniable evidence of animal cruelty and the growing public outcry against such practices. The use of exotic skins in the fashion industry has also come under intense scrutiny, with designers and brands facing increasing pressure to reconsider their material choices. In response to this pressure, some brands and retailers have chosen to phase out these controversial materials, opting instead for more ethical and sustainable alternatives. These legislative and corporate actions reflect a growing recognition that animal welfare is not just a niche concern, but a significant societal issue that demands immediate attention and decisive action. Section 5. The power of transparency. Transparency and traceability are becoming increasingly important in the animal skin industry as consumers demand greater accountability and assurance that the products they buy are ethically sourced. Consumers want to know where the animals used for leather, fur, and exotic skins came from, how they were treated, and whether the sourcing practices were sustainable and ethical. Brands that prioritize transparency and are willing to open up their supply chains for scrutiny are more likely to earn the trust of ethically conscious consumers. Section 6. Towards a compassionate future. The ethical challenges facing the animal skin industry are complex and multifaceted, with no easy solutions. And honest dialogue, collaboration across industries, and a willingness to embrace innovation and change. Ultimately, the future of the animal skin industry hinges on its ability to adapt to prioritize animal welfare and find sustainable and compassionate solutions that meet the needs. Section 1. The rise of vegan fashion. The fashion industry, once synonymous with fur coats and leather handbags, is undergoing a profound transformation, driven in part by the growing popularity of vegan fashion. Vegan fashion encompasses clothing, footwear, and accessories made without any animal-derived materials, reflecting a commitment to cruelty-free and ethical consumption. What began as a niche movement has exploded in recent years, fueled by increasing awareness of animal welfare issues and the availability of stylish and affordable vegan alternatives. From high-street brands to luxury fashion houses, designers are incorporating vegan materials into their collections, catering to the growing demand for ethical and sustainable fashion choices. Section 2. Innovation in alternatives. The rise of vegan fashion has spurred a wave of innovation in textile and material science as researchers and entrepreneurs seek to develop high-quality alternatives to traditional animal skins. Plant-based leathers derived from materials like pineapple leaves, mushrooms, and cactus are gaining traction as viable substitutes for animal leather, offering comparable durability, texture, and aesthetic appeal. Other innovative alternatives include fabrics made from recycled plastic bottles, organic cotton, and even lab-grown leather and fur, created from cell cultures without harming animals. These advancements are not only reducing the fashion industry's reliance on animal products, but also offering more sustainable and environmentally friendly options. While vegan fashion and innovative alternatives are gaining momentum, offering stylish and sustainable options for the conscious consumer, the demand for genuine animal skins, particularly in the luxury market, persists. This demand is driven by a deep-rooted appreciation for the unique qualities that genuine leather offers. Exotic skins, prized for their rarity, exclusivity, and luxurious appeal, are often seen as the epitome of opulence and sophistication. These materials continue to command high prices, attracting a discerning clientele willing to pay a premium for these coveted items, which are often seen as investments. The enduring allure of genuine animal skins in the luxury market can be attributed to a complex interplay of factors, including tradition, heritage, craftsmanship, and the unparalleled quality of the finished products. Additionally, the perception of these materials as status symbols plays a significant role in their continued popularity among affluent consumers. However, as ethical concerns gain prominence, with more people becoming aware of the environmental and ethical implications of using animal skins, and innovative alternatives become increasingly sophisticated, offering comparable quality and aesthetics. The luxury market may also witness a gradual shift towards more sustainable and compassionate choices, reflecting a broader change in consumer values and priorities. The future of the animal skin industry will be shaped by evolving consumer preferences, particularly among younger generations who are more attuned to ethical and environmental issues. Millennials and Gen Z consumers are more likely to consider the ethical implications of their purchases, seeking out brands that align with their values and boycotting those that fail to meet their ethical standards. This shift in consumer consciousness is driving demand for greater transparency, traceability, and accountability within the animal skin industry. Brands that are proactive in addressing these concerns, embracing ethical alternatives, and communicating their commitments transparently are better positioned to resonate with these influential consumer groups. The global animal skin industry stands at a pivotal juncture, navigating a complex landscape of ethical challenges, shifting consumer demands, and technological advancements. The future of the industry lies in finding a balance between tradition and innovation, ethics and aesthetics, and economic viability and environmental responsibility. This will require ongoing dialogue and collaboration among industry stakeholders, including brands, suppliers, consumers, animal welfare organizations, and policymakers, to establish ethical sourcing practices, promote transparency, and foster innovation in sustainable materials. Ultimately, the industry must adapt to a changing world where consumers are increasingly demanding products that reflect their values without compromising on style or quality. The global animal skin industry, steeped in tradition and woven into the fabric of human history, stands at a crossroads. This industry, which has been an integral part of human civilization for thousands of years, is now facing unprecedented challenges and opportunities. What was once a necessity for survival, using animal skins for clothing, shelter, and tools, has transformed over millennia. It has evolved into a complex global industry catering to diverse sectors, employing millions of people worldwide and generating billions in revenue. From fashion and luxury goods to automotive and furniture, leather products are ubiquitous in our daily lives, symbolizing both status and utility. Yet, as we've explored throughout this series, this industry faces mounting ethical and environmental challenges that demand our attention and action. The suffering inflicted upon animals raised in intensive farming systems, the deforestation caused by expanding grazing lands, and the inhumane conditions in fur farming are just the tip of the iceberg. The pollution generated by traditional tanning methods, which often involve toxic chemicals, has long-lasting effects on both the environment and human health. Additionally, the threat to endangered species from the exotic skin trade poses a significant risk to biodiversity. These are issues we can no longer ignore. The time has come for the industry to innovate and adopt more sustainable and ethical practices, ensuring a balance between tradition and change. The future of the animal skin industry hinges on its ability to adapt, innovate, and embrace a more compassionate and sustainable path forward. The rise of vegan fashion, the development of high-quality alternatives, and the growing consumer demand for transparency and ethical sourcing are all driving forces for change. Brands that are transparent about their supply chains, invest in innovative and sustainable materials, and prioritize animal welfare will be better positioned to thrive in this evolving landscape. The journey towards a more compassionate and sustainable animal skin industry requires a collective effort, from consumers demanding better, to brands responding with innovation, to policymakers implementing stricter regulation.